was driving in the studio today, talking to my buddy Ryan, and he says, Chael, I got to ask you something. He said, I'm reading some stuff online, and it's about some of the judges and some of the officials being influenced by the commentary team over the last 9 days of the 3 UFC shows we had. He said, and I know that this is a real thing that people are being influenced because Greg Hardy openly said, I started listening to Daniel Cormier. Carlo Esparza openly said, hey, Daniel, thanks for the advice mid-fight. I was able to make some changes. So we know that they can be heard. He said, but I want to ask you a different question. As weird as as unusual as some of the judging was and the officiating, do you believe they also fall into the human nature of being influenced by the sound of the commentators? Now, Ryan happened to ask me this 5 minutes after I got done talking to Ariel about this same thing on Ariel and the Bad Guy. It was not something I had considered. I have to give credit to Ariel Helwani. Ariel Helwani is the one that brought it up and said, Chael, you want to know why some of the judging and officiating was weird? He says, because for the first time ever, they can hear the commentators. As a matter of fact, it's the only voices they can hear aside from the corners. They're human beings and they're being influenced. Ariel, I never thought of that. You're right. I've never been in a room like that. The closest that I could ever personalize for you guys would just be my experience through The Ultimate Fighter. In that it was quiet, in that you could hear the corners, in that you could hear the punches, you could hear the breathings of the fighters. But guess what, guys? There was no live commentary team. So I've never been in that spot, and I never thought of it like that. But if I were a referee, I would like to think that would have nothing to do with it. I would like to think that. I don't know that. I've never been a referee. Maybe I'm wrong. If I were a judge, I would like to think that has nothing to do with it. I'm going to mark this sheet based on what I saw, not based on what this person or this person said. I would like to think that. Guys, I've never been a judge. I think that Ariel brought up a great point and might have even hit the nail on the head. Now, the question quickly becomes, if we concede that the last 3 events in Florida from officiating and judging standpoint, and by the way, guys, I should add for you, I'm not really the guy that complains about officiating or judging. I'm just not that guy. I believe it all works itself out. There's some calls that you agree with. There's some that you're kind of scratching your head. But over time, it kind of works itself out. Sometimes the guy gets a nod. Sometimes the guy doesn't get a nod. But it works itself out. That's what I largely believe. I also like the controversy behind it. I like the drama behind it. I like to have things to come out here and complain about, in all fairness. And I think a lot of you can relate to this. So I'm not really that guy. But this was highly unusual. I mean, there was some highly unusual calls. They gave wins to 2 different athletes who did not believe they won. When you raise a guy's hand and the guy looks right, me? Did you say that right? Because I didn't win that fight. When that happens, you've got some explaining to do. There was multiple matches like this all in the course of a week. I will also offer and concede to you that one of the reasons we saw so many wild things over the course of the week is we had 33 fights in a week. When the hell's that ever happened? We had a bigger focus group, which means we had more room for air, if you will, than we've ever had before. But it was a little bit baffling. And the question does come, what can be done? Well, I don't know that you do anything. I mean, what are you going to suggest? You put these guys in phone booths? You put these guys in plexiglass soundproof rooms? No, I don't think so. I think that's as simple as that. Hey, guys, you get the team together. You go, hey, guys, we're in Florida a week ago. Had some very bizarre calls that we've never had before. We are speculating that perhaps that is because the only voice you hear is the announcers and you're influenced by their opinion. Don't be influenced by their opinion. You're in charge. You're the referee. Take control of this action. You're the judge. Take control. Be unbiased. Be straightforward. Watch what you're doing. It would seem as though that might be the fix. That might be the first step in it. Sometimes you just have to address things and bring it to everybody's mind. I never even thought of it till Ariel said it. And what was weird is 10 minutes later, I'm on the phone with Ryan, who doesn't know I just had that conversation with Ariel, and he had the same opinion. One, I had never considered.